Early July 1863 found the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia, under the command of Robert E. Lee, facing off against the Union Army of the Potomac commanded by Major General George Gordon Meade in the small crossroad town of Gettysburg in southern Pennsylvania. For 3 long days the battle raged. Thousands of soldiers, both Union and Confederate, lay dead on the battlefield. Early on, the battle seemed like an easy Confederate victory, then transitioned into a stalemate, ending with the Union Army holding firm and the Confederates retreating back to Virginia. Through the years, the battle has become one of the most written about battles in the world. More ink has been spilled about this battle than any other battle involving United States soldiers. Why has the Battle of Gettysburg been the focus of so many historians and authors in the last 160 years? During a battle walk on East Cavalry Field, Gettysburg National Military Park Ranger Thomas Holbrook gave insight to this question when he claimed the appeal of the battle is the what-if syndrome. So what did he mean by that? This 3-day battle created many instances that could have been drastically altered had the commander issued a different order than the one he did. What if he had done that? Many of these what-ifs are present throughout the 3 days. However, one of the largest what-ifs occurred on the second day of the battle on the left flank of the Union position. Major General Daniel Sickles commanded the Union Third Corps and had been ordered by Meade to position his troops, connecting to the left of the Second Corps and then extending south along Cemetery Ridge in the direction of Little Round Top. As Sickles awoke on the 2nd of July and began the task of placing his troops, he became increasingly worried about the deficiencies of his ordered position. He felt that the left portion of his line was untenable and that the high ground to his immediate front at the Sherfy Peach Orchard would enable the Confederates to dominate his line and pummel his troops just as they had previously done at the Battle of Chancellorsville. After repeatedly requesting permission to advance his corps to the high ground to his immediate front and receiving no instructions from Meade, Sickles took it upon himself to do so. From the moment his first troops stepped off to man this advance line, soldiers and leaders on the battlefield have criticized Sickles for placing his troops in such a foolhardy position. Historians from the 19th century to contemporary times have joined these soldiers in condemning Sickles. However, is this criticism really appropriate? Did Sickles blunder and endanger the entire army by his decision? Or did he actually move his troops forward to a better position? The biography of Sickles' action focuses on the deficiencies of his advanced line. Some of the major deficiencies include the length of the line, both ends of the position were left in the air, and of course the infamous salient at the Peach Orchard. The originally ordered line has 2 commonly used deficiencies also. The southern end of the line was untenable, and there were very few positions for artillery, especially where they could be massed to support a defense. Still, historians have insisted that Sickles was wrong. Gettysburg Ranger and historian Troy Harmon alludes to a reason as to why historians have continued to follow each other down this same path. He said, and I quote, "Because casual battlefield visitors and seminar enrollees are likely to be somewhat well versed in the traditional view. Civil War authors and lecturers do not risk the blank stares that result from introducing a new, albeit correct, paradigm." End quote. Could this possibly be the case with Sickles and the Third Corps? Is it possible that Sickles made the best decision he could? Could he have moved his corps forward to a better, more defensible position than the one he was ordered to occupy? Sickles himself gives us an avenue to understanding the answer to these questions. When giving his testimony to Congress, Sickles said, and again I quote, "I took up that line because it enabled me to hold the commanding ground. I think that any general who would look at the topography of the country there would naturally come to the same conclusion." End quote. The key was the statement, any general would look at the topography. Could the multitudes of historians who have written about the folly of sickles stayed the course of those coming before them without analyzing the topography of the battlefield in relation to the weapons and the tactics of the day? Were the deficiencies of the advanced line a lesser evil than the issues with the originally ordered line? An in-depth mapping of the two defensive positions of the Third Corps, examining dead spots and the ability of musket and cannon to influence the defense, is a critical ingredient to establish answers to these questions. Additionally, unit reports in the official records, along with the National Tribune, the Mullis papers, as well as the Bockelder papers, will be a starting point for eyewitness reports. The archives at the Gettysburg National Military Park, the Adams County Historical Society, the Army Heritage Education Center will be other opportunities to locate primary eyewitness reports on the day's events. This multifaceted examination will prove a fresh perspective, albeit a correct paradigm, will be exposed, and Sickles will be vindicated.